everybody. We are back again to talk some more NFL football. We are past week 8. That means we are
Heading into week 9.
halfway done with the NFL football season. Ish. Right
Ish.
around ish, because there's 17 games now, so we're
Quickly approaching. I hope you guys had a very happy Halloween.
Yes, happy Halloween, everybody. We are going to recap week 8, like we were saying, and then we're going to talk
Some teams had some scary games. Let's just say that scarier results.
scary results. We got a dumpster fire burning.
That is frightening.
A frighteningly frightened dumpster fire. And then we are going to talk about week 9, give you our picks for the winners and losers of that game. But first of all, let's go ahead and jump into week 8. Thursday night, we actually had points scored.
Hallelujah.
We had the Ravens taking on the Tampa Bay Raiders. And man,
Todd Bowles. He's turning into full toilet bowls.
well, Todd Bowles has taken this team and destroyed it the same as he did the Jets.
Why did they choose him to be the head coach?
I don't know. When you get fired from the Jets as a head coach, shouldn't that be a sign
That you're not good.
that you're not good? If the Jets fire you,
No offense to you.
no
Al.
offense to the Jets or Big Allen, but the Jets have been struggling the past 10 years or more. Why would you take one of those coaches that failed in that 10-year period
And expect him to be
and expect him?
the savior of the Bucks.
No.
And right now it's a 3-5 disaster right now.
Tom Brady is 2 games under 500.
For the first time in almost over a decade.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever been 2 games under 500.
It's been a while.
In his
at the very
career,
least.
I don't think in his career he has ever been 2 games under 500.
Rough year, huh?
A rough year, yeah. I'm pretty sure his rookie year he was only 1 game under at worst. So
They also lost.
they're in trouble.
They also lost Shaquille Barrett, their best pass rusher for the year, with an Achilles injury. So that's another damaging thing. The Ravens are flying high in 5-3 right now.
They're 5-3, leading their division now, I guess, aren't they?
To be fair, if they held on to one more of those victories, they might be one of the best teams in the conference.
Well, they've lost 3 games by like 8 seconds.
Yeah, they couldn't hold a lead for some reason.
Last second field goals and stuff like that. All right, let's jump into the Sunday games because we had some shockers. The Bucks are 3-5. As we see, we had the Panthers take on the
Falcons. This game was heartbreaking.
Yes,
The Panthers had every shot to close this out.
they should have won it.
But DJ
Moore had a little bit of a tough game, had a little bit of a tough year, and caught a 62-yard touchdown pass at the last second and took his head off in celebration, bumped the extra point back to 48 yards, missed it. And all they had to do was get the extra point to win the game. So
that's been the whole season for this team.
that has been
And
the
not
whole
to
season.
mention Eddie Pinheiro can't make a kick.
Yeah. Yes, because he missed that 48-yarder, and then in overtime he missed a 32-yarder.
Sometimes maybe we need to give these kickers like some sort of like target sign.
I don't know. Maybe where to pay them. Oh, we do. If you get paid to do a job, I think you should do the job.
Maybe they should get the crowd inside the stadium to like hold a target up whenever a kicker is kicking, so that they can actually try to hit inside the target.
Have something to aim at. I don't know.
That could
But anyways,
actually help.
it's probably good for your Panthers. Your Panthers are not going to win the Super Bowl this year. It might be good for them just to tank a little bit and get as good a draft pick as you possibly can coming in, and then honestly get a new coaching staff and new coach and maybe the new GM. I don't know, and just rat that out and start over again because it's just that experiment with that coach did not work.
Nope.
We had the Broncos at the Jaguars.
A little Russell Wilson magic.
Oh, the Russell Wilson match at 21-17.
They survived off of Trevor Lawrence int.
Mm-hmm.
And that puts the Jaguars ahead of the 8-ball in the draft lottery.
Mm-hmm.
And that puts the Broncos a little closer to what they want.
Yeah.
But not quite where they want to be.
The Jaguars did trade for Calvin Ridley. They will have him this year because you know what's funny? Calvin Ridley is suspended. You know what for, right?
Yep.
For betting on a Falcons game. You want to know what he bet on? He bet the Falcons would beat the Jaguars.
And now
he's a Jaguar. Well, that's ironic. That's the definition of ironic. You get suspended for betting on your team winning against another team, and they trade you to the team you bet against. Oh, that's
Speaking
so
of trades, there has been a slew of them.
There's been a slew of trades, Joe. We'll talk about them as we go throughout here. The Broncos did lose somebody.
Bradley Chubb is off to the Dolphins.
Bradley Chubb is off to the
for
Dolphins.
some draft picks.
Yep. We had the Bears at the Cowboys, and the highest scoring game of the week. My Cowboys put up 49.
You know your defense is bad when you make Kellen Moore look like a good offensive mind.
I think Dak was ready to come back, and he just wanted to maybe prove a little point. They started out a little ugly still, though, but they turned it on at the end. And man, Pollard.
He's a Swiss Army knife.
He is a Swiss Army knife.
Bears lost.
Might be the starting quarterback. Starting running back for the Cowboys from now on if it was my choice.
But you're not the GM, are you?
No, I'm not Kellen Moore either. I'm the owner. I love the Cowboys, but I hate their management and ownership. I do. But I'll be a Cowboy till.
But the Bears made some moves in the trade deadline. They shipped off two of their best defenders and got Chase Claypool.
And picked up a mediocre wide receiver. According to Chase Claypool, though, he is the number 3 wide receiver in the league.
Yeah.
I don't know what league he's talking about. But in some league, he's the number 3 wide receiver, just not the NFL. We had the Dolphins at the Lions shootout.
Yep, the Lions score a lot at their domed home area.
Yeah.
The Dolphins keep up with the Bills in the playoff race right now, although 31 to 27.
And the Dolphins picked up a player, like we mentioned, Chubb.
And Bradley Chubb is going to be a key person for them.
That might push Miami into the playoffs. Because if you extend your defense that much better, and let's say that one player, you can scheme him and you can knock 3 points off of a game with him, that'll pick you up another couple wins that you wouldn't have got. So it's really big picking up a really good defensive player. We had the Cardinals at the Vikings. Speaking of picking up some good players, the Vikings beat the Cardinals. Man, the Cardinals paid $200 million for their quarterback, and now what are they? What's their schedule?
They are very mediocre.
What are they now? 2
They are very mediocre.
They are mediocre. At best, they're mediocre. But the Vikings
traded for the Lions' best tight end.
Got T.J. Hawkinson from the Lions. Again, I think that's another huge point. I'm a big valuer of linebackers and tight ends. Everybody that plays the middle of that field right there, I think is huge. That tight end, Hawkinson, is a fantastic tight end. He's one of my favorite ones in the league, and I'm not even a Lions fan. He's really, really good. And now that he's on the Vikings, I mean, who are you going to stop on the Vikings? They have every position covered now.
They got Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen. The only thing that's
Cook
and Dalvin Cook, and now you got Hawkinson at the tight end.
Yeah, I mean, they completely have an entire offensive package now. What are you going to do?
Outside of quarterback, but...
Outside of quarterback. Well, you've got... Kirk Cousins. Let's just hope he doesn't bang his head into a wall before the end of the season. We got the Raiders at the Saints. Man, what's happened to the Raiders? You want to know how many points they got in this game? None. They got just as many points as I did in this game.
They had just as many points as you sitting on the couch or your chair right now.
Yes, I could. I actually scored just as many points as the Raiders did this time.
I had just
24 to nothing, man.
I haven't even put on any shoulder pads, and I scored as many points.
I might have scored more just by watching the game. I don't know, maybe. But 24
Josh
to nothing.
McDaniels has been an absolute dumpster fire of a coach.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels he was once the head coach of the Broncos back 10 years ago or so, and then he failed there miserably. And
now he's taken
Belichick picked him up as a coordinator, and we thought maybe he went through the Belichick School of Rehabilitation. Maybe he might be good.
Some people can't be fixed.
No, I just don't think Josh Daniels can be. He's got again, I think he could be a good offensive coordinator. And honestly, it might have just been Brady that made him look good as an offensive coordinator. I mean, we hadn't really thought about that too much. Maybe Josh Daniels was so good because he had Tom Brady as a quarterback and Gronk as a tight end. Yep. I might look good as an offensive coordinator if I had those two on my team. I don't know. So Josh Daniels is maybe not the one for the Raiders. We got the Patriots at the Jets. And
seems like old Belichick still has the Jets by the throat.
yeah, and what is he tied for second place wins of all time now?
Yeah, he passed George Halas with that win over the Jets.
So I think Belichick is the best modern coach we've had in the past 20 years, without a doubt. I think, and they're not having a fantastic time right now because they're in rebuild mode. And honestly, I thought the Jets might beat them, but the Patriots did get the best of them one more time. We had the Steelers at the Eagles.
The Eagles kicked the merciless crap out of them.
35-13, yeah. And just like we said at the beginning of the year, it looks like the Eagles are the best team in the NFC. They
no one
should
can
win
stop
the
that
NFC.
A.J. Brown connection with Jalen Hurts.
No. Again, they've got every position covered, except for they've got a better quarterback than the Vikings. I think
Hurts he's younger.
We
He's paid less, and he's playing better.
We loved him last year. We said last year, watch out for the Eagles, man. Hurts is a pretty good quarterback.
And look what
And
happens.
looky. Hurts and has the Eagles at the first place, still undefeated, the only undefeated team left now.
In the pigskin realm, they're flying high.
They are flying high. We had the Titans at the Texans. Man, as Henry goes, so do the Titans.
As Todd Downing goes, he trips himself up. I'm sorry. I know it's a win and all that, but you score 17 points against the freaking Texans.
Yeah, whenever Henry, is the only quarterback now to go for
running back to go for
200 yards and
each of his.
at 200 yards and 2 TDs, has the most 200-yard, 2 TD games in the history of the NFL now.
Against the Texans. He loves to punish the Texans.
He loves it. Yeah, he beats up on the Texans every time he plays them. So, yeah, as Henry goes, so do the Titans.
Let's hope that Toddy boy, you know what Todd we're talking about if we're watching the video.
I just hope he doesn't put him as
Todd
a
Downing.
wild,
he's had a history of that.
He is a horrible offensive coordinator. We got the Commanders at the Colts.
This loss was so bad, the Colts fired their offensive coordinator after the game.
I wish they would have fired me for watching it. This game was not very fun. But hey, we got the Commanders, we got the Colts, 17-16.
And Heineke leads the last-minute drive for the Agents.
The Colts starting quarterback last year was traded to the Redskins. And the Redskins starting quarterback was traded
to
the Colts, and they play each other, and neither one of those quarterbacks are playing because they both suck. Oh, it was like the two Spider-Mans pointing at each other. They just swapped Spider-Mans. Still the same Spider-Man's pointing at Spider-Man.
But man, the Colts, what the heck happened?
I don't know, man. That's probably my disappointment of the year is the Colts. I thought they would win their division and maybe challenge in a playoff game or two, you know?
They don't look like a playoff team at all.
They don't look like they're even going to sniff the playoffs for a long time. They honored Peyton there
by dog crapping their bed in the last minute.
I don't know.
That's how they honored Peyton Manning.
That's how they honored. They honored the Super Bowl team. We had the 49ers at the Rams, changing of the guards.
And changing of the running backs.
Yeah.
More like Christian McCaffrey went God mode on the Rams.
Set a record. He ran for a touchdown. He caught a touchdown. He passed a touchdown. So he's the first one ever to do that. Those three for the 49ers.
Talk about the full package. The 49ers got the best player in the trade deadline before it ended.
Yep, 31-14. The 49ers, once they gel, there'll be some trouble. We got the 49ers, we got the Vikings, we got the Eagles. Remember those three teams when it comes to the playoff time.
Sure, the 49ers are only 4-4, but
it doesn't matter.
They're going to be much better than that.
There's 9 games left. If they go 7-2 in those games, they're 11-6. And
they got the talent to do that.
Watch out for the 49ers. We got the Giants at the Seahawks. We called this upset for you. You're welcome. Seahawks.
Geno Smith continues his ascension.
Mm-hmm. Geno's came out of nowhere.
And he's become a good quarterback.
I mean, he was always decent, but maybe he was just never on a team that fit his style.
And it looks like Pete Carroll's got them rolling
Pete
again.
Carroll knows how to use that style of quarterback, I guess, and it's just really good.
And the Giants' winning streak is cut to a halt.
Yeah, now that they're still 5-2.
6-2 heading into the bye week.
I still don't have a lot of faith in them because they could lose these type of games. The Seahawks on paper were an inferior team, then should have been beat, really. But when they got Geno and you're at Seattle, there's a lot of extra stuff there going on. But I don't trust the Giants as much as I trust the 49ers, to be honest. And the 49ers have 4 losses and the Giants only have 2. But we'll see as we go down through there. And then our other retirement party, we had one retirement party when the Ravens beat the Buccaneers. That was Tom Brady's retirement party. The last retirement party of the week was the Packers at the Bills, and old man Rodgers
is still struggling.
Well, they're 3-5 too now, aren't they?
Yep, they're the same record as the Bucks.
Think about that. Would you have thought at the beginning of the year that Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers will not make the playoffs?
Wow. That's shocking. Do you know what's even more shocking? That they didn't lose to the Bills by more. I feel like this could have been even worse.
That's because it was the Packers season. I mean, this whole week was preach, step up, do your job, step up, do your job, pump you up, and they still lost by 10.
I think the only thing the Bills need to do is cut the turnovers down, and they'll be the best team in the AFC.
Yeah, the only thing, Josh Allen has a little bit of Brett Favre in him.
The gunslinger mentality.
He's got a little bit of the gunslinger mentality.
We appreciate the hurdles and all the flash in the pan.
Yeah.
The only thing I'd like him to do, Josh Allen, is to cut down on the turnovers.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, because he has 6 interceptions this year, which is high. That's a lot of they played, 8 games?
They played like 8 games.
You got 8 games and you got 6 interceptions. So he's throwing almost 1 per game. The plus side to him being the gunslinger is he's threw 19 touchdowns. So,
that's the thing, Buffalo fans, you gotta take with that.
That's sort of make it so maybe as he gets
more mature,
more mature,
decisive, accurate.
He can read the defense so bad. Maybe not try to throw into those times. But I think he's always going to be the little bit. He's going to be Brett Favre no matter what. So as long as you can keep the touchdowns 3 times plus more than your interceptions, you're probably going to win a lot of games. But one of these days, one of those interceptions might cost you something, so you got to be careful with that.
We got the Browns and the Bengals.
Yeah, last we did have the Browns and the Bengals on Monday Night Football. This was a shocker.
Without Jamar Chase, the Bengals looked lifeless.
I didn't know he was that much of their offense, but apparently he is. Because they scored 13 points against the Browns. The Browns hammered them. I don't mean beat them. I mean hammered them.
With Nick Chubb.
32-13.
A bulldozer, like he always is.
Nick Chubb just ran. Nick Chubb's the second best running back behind Henry in the league. I haven't seen anybody else change a game like Nick Chubb does. I do like Cook for the Vikings, but the Vikings have a lot of other talent in there that it goes to, Jefferson and all that. And really on the Browns, Cooper's okay.
Amari Cooper, and then you got Nick Chubb.
But Nick Chubb's it. I mean, he's the horse. He's like Henry. Henry doesn't have a lot of help. Chubb doesn't have a lot of help. But they're pretty much the best player on the team. So Henry and Chubb, I think, are the best two. And Chubb just ran all over him.
Do you know what's concerning about this game for the Bengals offense?
What?
They only put up 13 points against Joe Woods.
Yeah, Joe Woods is probably one of the worst, might be the worst defensive coordinator in the game. He
is the worst defensive coordinator in football, and you only scored 13.
That tells you how much Chase meant to that. Maybe they'll pull some other. I really thought T. Higgins would have a bigger game.
But somehow the Bengals play calling, for some freaking reason, they didn't want to throw down the field.
Which was strange against a secondary that had been torched on a daily basis.
Yes.
And for some reason, they didn't try to throw on them. I don't know why. But anyways, that is our recap of Week 8. Now it's time for a little
dumpster fire of the week.
Here she comes.
Dumpster fire of the week.
Yeah. And our dumpster fire is
the Las Vegas Raiders.
The Las Vegas Raiders,
They have been ramsacked and bamboozled, tricked, into thinking Josh McDaniels was this hotshot coach, which he's not.
No, I bet because they scored 0 points and name off their players.
Derek Carr, Davante Adams,
Man, one of the best wide receiver in the league last year. Okay, next.
Darren Waller.
There were a fantastic tight end.
Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, one of the best running backs in the league.
A good, solid offensive line.
A good, solid offensive line.
And
you got
no points.
Zero points against a mediocre Saints team. Against a Saints team that had 2 wins going into the game. And you scored 0 points.
0 points.
Against a team who had 2 wins going into the game.
0 points. Josh McDaniels, he has to go. This is going to smolder.
They've got way too much talent, way too much team
to be 2-5.
To be 2-5. Yeah, that's right. They're 2-5.
You got multiple Pro Bowlers on your team, and you get 0.
That's 2-5 is equal to 4-10 is equal to 5-12.
Freaking
that's a 5-12
points.
season. If you keep it the same pace you're at, 5-12.
This is not on paper a freaking awful team.
No, they got talent everywhere.
But the coaching has made it freaking awful.
Yeah, Josh McDaniels is just not it, man. He's just not it. We were talking. I think that Tom Brady did make him look good. It was Belichick and Tom Brady hid how bad he was.
Tom Brady was. Yeah. He's got to get a check to Tom Brady every day.
Yep, I think he owes a lot of money to Tom Brady for getting this head coaching job. Because I don't think he was very good to get it. No.
Josh, what a disastrous mess.
It was bad. 0.
You got that fancy stadium and everything built there. And you're going to treat your fans to that?
You want to know how many passing yards they had? And this was with Waller and Adams. In the entire game, 101 yards.
101? What?
In four quarters, no, that's not a half. That's all 4 quarters. 101 passing yards.
This is what I do every time I see the Raiders play football. I just peek my eye open like this in case they do something.
And Jacobs only had 10 carries for 43 yards. They didn't even try to rush him.
10 carries? They ran the ball only 10 times?
Jacobs only had 10. They only ran it 13 times as a team, and one of them was by Derek Carr.
You don't use him. He
can't run. He's a big old giant. I'll probably run as good as he can. Yeah, Derek Carr ran for 1 time for -1 yards. Davante Adams probably got an end around 1 time for -1 yards. And Farley got a carry 1 time for -3 yards. So
that's pathetic.
Jacob was the only runner that had positive yards.
That's pathetic.
And he only had 10 touches.
That's pathetic. I hate to be harsh, but that's pathetic. You gotta use your talent better than that, Dad.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That bottom line, the Raiders are just a smoldering. You know they're called the black hole.
Mm-hmm.
I call it the black hole of misery.
It was so bad they brought in Stidham at the end, and he finished up the game. They actually had 173 yards passing total, but Carr only had 101 because they sucked so bad they just took him out at the end of the game.
I'm not putting that on Carr.
No.
The coaching sucks. The coaching sucks. With a capital S-U-C-K-S.
Yep.
Adams. I can't stand thinking about them sometimes with all that talent.
I just saw something that may be the worst one. This will tell you how bad the coaching is for the Raiders. Davante Adams, you gave up the kitchen sink for him. He was the best receiver in the league last year.
And he's well-deserved.
He's well-deserved. He's a monster. He's a monster receiver. He had 1 catch for 3 yards in the game.
Okay, now that is stupid. Only 1 catch.
1 catch.
1 target?
1.
1. For the best receiver in football, you only target him once for 3 yards.
He had 5 targets, and he only caught 1 pass for 3 yards.
I can count that on my own one hand.
He should have 5 targets every drive. Not even every quarter.
At least
he should have 3 or 4 targets. I'm not kidding. He should have 3 or 4 targets a drive.
He should. Well, I'll give Aaron Rodgers credit. He did throw him the ball a lot, and they succeeded that way. Somehow the Raiders did not get the memo. It's just an absolute smoldering mess. I hate to repeat myself, but
Yeah.
it is a disaster.
That was horrible. But yeah, man. And I mean, think about it. You've got all that talent, man. It's just talent stacked up on top of talent. And
He pulled a McDaniels.
he pulled Josh McDaniels because he is Josh McDaniels. That's pretty bad. Well, let's go ahead and jump on into week 9. And we'll talk about who's going to be a dumpster fire next week, probably. Thursday night, we get to see a primetime Eagles game going to the Texans. This will be a slaughter.
This will be an exhibition.
Texans are 1-5-1. This is a preseason game. Texans are favored by 14. I mean, Eagles are favored by 14. I will probably I'll take 14 points is a monster amount of points for the NFL. It's probably 31-3. It may be 20 points. That's horrible. Okay, jumping on into Sunday, we got your Bengals. I mean, your Panthers going to the Bengals. Bengals coming off of a loss at home.
Bengals should win.
Yeah, Bengals are favored by 7. I would probably take those points.
We're
taking some high points, but I'd probably take the Bengals -7.
Yeah. If Carolina wins this game, the Bengals are in a bit of a danger mode.
The Bengals could be last in the division, even with the Steelers. So the Bengals need to put a little emphasis on. They need to find a way to throw the ball to somebody that's not named Jamar Chase. I mean, they've got some pretty good receivers on that field. I think Higgins is a fantastic receiver. Yeah, but I'm taking Bengals -7. We got this is one of those games that is probably going to end one of these two teams right here too. Chargers at the Falcons. The Chargers, if they go to 4-4,
Brandon Stale, piece of bread.
I'm thinking that the Chargers may need a new head coach too. They got talent, young, strong, and
can't do anything.
They're at the Falcons and are only favored by 3. I would probably take the Chargers -3. They've got to see that they got to win this game. I mean, how can you have Eckler and Williams and Herbert?
Bad coaching in this league, huh?
I mean, think about all that offensive talent, and there's just nobody to coach it. We got the Dolphins at the Bears.
The Dolphins are gonna walk. They're not gonna walk.
They're going to punt those Bears across the field. I really think so, especially since they picked up.
They picked up
Chubb.
They picked up Bradley Chubb.
He's going to go in there and want to make a point that he was worth it, that he wants to be on that team. You know, he came from going, well, we're going to not even want to make the playoffs to, hey, we could win our division. I mean, they're staying with the Bills. Man, how about that Bills-Miami game coming up here soon?
Yeah, the Miami is the only team that gave the Bills a loss.
There will be a second matchup coming this year.
Yep.
Miami could win the division.
Possibly.
Ooh, that's going to be good. But yeah, the Dolphins are favored by 5. It's going to be 10. Packers at the Lions.
This is a must-win for the Packers.
Man.
This is going to be a Packers win.
You got a bad feeling? Doesn't he pretty much owns the Lions, doesn't he?
He owns everyone in that division.
Yeah, and that is a divisional game. Packers are favored by 3.5. If there's an upset, it's over, people. You can just go ahead and write the check. Retirement, go ahead and rent out the retirement home. It's over. Colts at the Patriots. I'm going to probably take the Patriots. Don't have an offensive mind on that entire team. That's why they're struggling. But the Colts are horrible. Horrible. I wish they need to trade Jonathan Taylor. I feel sorry for the man. He should have been the number 2 running back in the league this year.
But they haven't given him
the ball any. You brought in a quarterback and you just said, hey, let's just
lean on the quarterback.
That'd be like the Titans lean. Imagine if the Titans leaned on the quarterback, how bad the Titans would be. That's the Colts.
He's pretty much Todd Downing 2.0.
He is, yeah. New England's favored by 5.5. Man, we're taking some big points, but I'll take that. Bills at the Jets. Buffalo.
That's an abnormally large. I just saw the line.
This may be. We took us some big points this week, but Buffalo's favored by 12.5. I don't like
they're
that.
a pretty good team, but they're not going to beat the Bills by 12
I don't like
and a half.
that. I think that's a 7 or 8 point game. I think they do win. I think it's the 30-23 type game. 30-24.
But they're not going to win by.
They're not going to win by
12
12 and a half. I mean, that's basically 13. That's 2 touchdowns, or touchdown, 2 field goals to beat you.
It's like
Buffalo will win the game. Don't get that wrong. They are the better team. They are the most talented team. But the Jets are not a bad team. That's what I'm saying. So I'm going to take Jets plus 12 and a half. Vikings at the Commanders.
this should be for the Vikings, conqueror of the Norsemen.
This may be my lock of the week.
Minnesota claims victory.
Minnesota, they're only favored by 3.5. They're going to beat the doors off the Commanders. This is a 10-point game. If there was a 10-point game this week, they just picked up Hawkinson.
And then they're going to roll on the offensive side.
Yeah, this is literally probably a 27-13 game. Because the Commanders can't score. They, scored 17 on the Colts? They only scored 17 on the Colts. If they score 17, they're going to lose by 10 because the Vikings are going to put up 27. It's a 10-point game, people. This was a 10-point game. Raiders at the Jaguars.
Jaguars.
I think for the Jaguars, too. Vegas is favored by 1.5.
Jaguars by 1.5.
I think we'll take the Jaguars.
I take Doug Peterson over Josh McDaniels any day of the week.
Yeah. Sad, though. Again, the Raiders have got way more talent.
But their head
They're
coach
experienced.
but their head coach is a fraud.
He's a fraud, yeah. We got the Seahawks at the Cardinals.
I'm going to take the Seahawks.
I'm going to take another upset there, too. We took plus 1.5 on the Jaguars.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Geno and the Seahawks.
We're going to take plus 2 against the Cardinals because the Cardinals are
Just
flying with
hanging.
one wing or something, man. They're just fluttering in a circle. That's all they're doing.
Need to let that bird rest.
They need to doctor up that bird. We got the Rams at the Bucks.
A makeup game if there ever was one.
The Rams at the Bucks. The Bucks are favored by 3. What do you think's going to happen there?
I'm going to take the Rams.
Is Brady going to go 3-6?
Why
not? Well, sure. Let's go for it there. Honestly, either one of those teams, both of those teams are really, really shaky right now. And then maybe the game of the week, the Titans at the Chiefs. Again, I think this game is too high also. This is also a 12.5 point game. Again, I think the Chiefs win probably by 7, 8, 9 points. But I don't think they beat them by 13.
But the Titans' defense is not Oklahoma. Come on now.
No, I don't think they're gonna lose by 12.5. So we've got 2 games this week. We're taking plus 12.5. At the Titans plus 12.5. And we got the Jets plus 12.5. Again, that's against the Buffalo and Kansas City. They are probably the 2 most high-powered offenses in the league, and you can see it. But again, they're not playing the Colts. They're playing some pretty good teams. So, and then Monday Night Football, we got a pretty good game. We got Baltimore at the Saints.
Watch this on the Manning Cast.
Yeah,
ESPN.
That's so funny. Again, you don't get to see as much of the game because you're laughing at them, but it's fun to do. I like that Manning Cast. Baltimore's favored by 2.5. I'll probably take Baltimore.
Baltimore looks like a better team right now.
Yeah, the Saints but the Saints did just release the beast. They finally gave the ball to Kamara.
And
they've been giving it to Hill inside the 5 all year long, and finally they give it to Kamara.
He explodes.
3 touchdowns in the first half.
It goes off like a bomb.
Yeah. So that's it. That is NFL football, week 8 and week 9. We hope you had fun with us. Be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button.
Groovy baby button.
Share us with your friends and the Groovy Baby button. Other than that, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.